Hi, I've got a pretty old set of golf clubs and I thought I would give them a new lease on life and attempt to regrip them. I didn't want to send them off to a pro shop and get them done. They weren't really worth that much to me. So I thought I'd have a go at doing it myself, and I looked on YouTube and I saw a number of videos to show you how to do it. Only problem was you needed, there were a few specialized things that you needed, like a vise, and I thought I would see what I could do about doing myself with a few more basic materials. The grips themselves and the grip tape I ordered on the internet for about $25 Aussie or 20 US, something like that, and I'll show you how I go about doing it. Okay, here are the few basic tools and things that I needed to do the job. First of all, I just use a normal box cutting knife to remove the grip. Unfortunately, these grips, my old grips, they're so old and perished, they're almost gone hard. And so that's why I use a heat gun. You can also use a gas blowtorch to do the same job, just to soften it and to cut it off. A lot of sites say you need a little hooked utility knife. I didn't really feel that was necessary. Maybe just to make sure, if you have graphite clubs, that you don't damage the graphite, you might think one of those little hooked utility knives is better to use. There are the grips and the grip tape. Now, instead of a vise, I made my own little vise just out of a block of pine. So I wanted to use a softwood so that it couldn't damage the club itself. And all I did was I got a piece of pine and I drilled with this half-inch spade bit. Worked really well. And I just put this either side, one half either side of the club, and all I have is a very old rudimentary wood vise to put them in. The other product which you're advised to use, a special solvent, grip solvent. I'm just using a low odor turpentine or mineral spirits, and I'll just show you how I go about doing it. Okay, first up, heat gun. Until it gets soft, so that'll take a minute or two. Just run it close to there. Yeah, I think that ought to be soft enough to get the old grip off. So I just get my box cutting knife, and obviously being very careful, just cut up the side all the way up to the top, like so. Then grip the sides and just pull it off like a sock. There we go. That's the old one off. And underneath we still have the old grip tape. This can be a little bit messy to get off. This one seems to be in a whole lot of different layers. So there's just, all you can do is really just be patient. This is also quite soft, so it's easy to get off. Quite easy to get off. Sometimes I find at the end I have to just scrape it, and very often it leaves a little bit of the old residue behind. That's okay. You can use that same mineral terps that you use when you're putting the new grips on to clean it up. Okay, that's it. I've got the old grip tape off there, and with a cloth and a little bit of the terps, I've cleaned up that shaft. It's nice and shiny and clean. And now we'll go and put the new grip on. Okay, so we've got a nice clean shafted golf club. I take my homemade wooden vise and stick that around the shaft in a spot where the two halves don't quite meet, so it'll tighten up nicely in the little wooden vise here. So I pop that in there, tighten that up. Before I make it really tight, I make sure that the club face is perpendicular to the ground, and then do that up nice and tight. Okay, so the first thing we have to do is get the grip tape on. Take out one of these grip tapes, and I just peel off just one side of the backing, the paper backing, and then I sit that over the top of over the end of the shaft, and I'm mindful to leave about 1/2 inch of the tape over the end of the shaft. Okay, so stick that on there all the way around the shaft, roll that around the shaft. Okay, and that's on there nice and neatly, and then I peel off the other backing, and I'm left with this 1/2 inch, so I just twirl that and push that in the end there. That's important, because doing that, when you push the new grip over the top, it doesn't push the grip tape along with it. And at this point they tell you to take your special grip solvent. As you know, I'm just using Terps, and they tell you to pour the solvent over the top of the grip tape. What I do is I just get a paintbrush and just liberally coat the grip tape with the Terps. Okay, I get the odd little drip on the floor, but that's not a drama in the workshop. Okay, and then what I do is I get the grip itself. It has a hole in the bottom, so you've got to put your finger over that and grab some of the Terps and carefully pour that into the new grip. Don't fill it right up to the top. Oops, bit of a drip down there. Put your finger over the other end and move it around to make sure that every little bit of it is coated. Then I'll just take the balance of that and stick it back into the bottle there. Just wipe a little bit of Terp off the grip, and then I take the new grip and then I put it over the end of the shaft like so, and start moving it down over the top of the shaft and the grip tape. Okay. Like so, in a few different moves until you get down. You can feel when you get to the end of the shaft a little bit more. Okay, that's got to the end of the shaft, that's fully on. And then the only thing you've got to do at that point is make sure that the little markers on the new grip are lined up with the face of the club. So they need to be just moved around just a little bit. That's pretty good. And take it out of the vise, take my little wooden vise off there and give it a good wipe down, get any excess solvent off there. And I probably wouldn't use that for another 24 hours just to let the solvent dry off, and that's just about it. So that's how you do a basic budget golf club regrip at home, using the most rudimentary of tools that most of us would have in our workshop. I hope you found this useful.